This is a short extract from my presentation on the future of identity. Today, the self is mediated, and not just some of the time, the self is mediated all of the time. How we communicate and relate to others, how we represent ourselves to others, it's now in part managed by a set of technologies. The clue is in the word representation, re-presentation. Identity is changing, and in a digital or virtual world, selfhood is no longer owned by the self. To that end, we may even say that authenticity is dead. A trusted, well-understood standard for judging people up close and personal, it no longer suffices for the remote internet lives we now live, if indeed it ever really did. At the beginning of the last century, Walter Benjamin grieved the end of awe in art with the advent of mechanical photography. And today, we see the end of awe in identity with the advent of platform technologies. Where mechanical technologies may have altered art, digital technologies are altering the artist. But there is more. Where digital turned one-to-one communication into one-to-many communication, now with the advent of AI, the many-to-many model is being born. In today's media, I have many profiles, many copies, but no real me, no original. Not only is the original not possible in a digitised media, it's actually barely desirable. It reminds me of the way that the otaku, Japan's obsessive anime fans, think about their much-loved fictional characters. The otaku affectionately call these characteristics kari-mo. The mo characteristics for a character might include hair sticking up like an antenna, a tail, cat's ears, or even floppy striped socks. But there is essentially an invisible cultural database that logs all of this and registers all these elements, the relationships between the features of an anime character, between a character and other characters, between all the quotes, all the parodies, and any other influences. There is no original character as such, only the many possible versions, because the otaku themselves are busy rearranging, remixing and reimagining these fictional characters, constantly expanding and redefining the relationship that they have with any of the characters over time. Perhaps we should ask ourselves why we still try to represent the same version of ourself to everyone we meet. Why do we indoctrinate new recruits into large companies with the idea that they need to bring their authentic self to work? I was speaking to a cultural researcher in China, and he said that his life is now 80% online and only 20% offline. When he explained it to me, it made sense. I have so many different selves, and they're all me, but they're all different for all different usages, different contexts, different social circles, he said. On the contrary, representations of self should be rearranged, remixed and reimagined to be bespoke to the context one finds oneself in. Hans-Georg Müller, the co-author of the book You and Your Profile, calls this prophilicity. And in a conversation that we had, he told me, in prophilicity, we can recover this actual art of existence that we have. We're equally the father as we are with the kid. They don't kind of cancel one another out. They enhance one another. And I think with prophilicity and living and creating and being truly invested in different profiles, we can actually go back to some form of richer existence. Why not? He said. As I wrote in The Future of You only a few years ago, we now need to think about our identity in terms of data, rather than one holistic meat space. I think of you and I as something much more like polymorphic code. That is, code that mutates but stays the same. A sum, for example, can be expressed as 1 plus 3 or as 6 minus 2, but the end result is the same. Our identity would function in the same way. I could use different data in different contexts to project different versions of myself, but will always achieve the same end result, me. Now, if you'd like to hear the end of this presentation or any of my other work on the future of identity, please do get in touch. Thank you.